Hey everyone, we had another great Form 7 released here for the month of October. Really looking forward to diving into it. Definitely a lot of thoughts here, a lot of information to go through. So I'll try to make it pretty quick, but I got a lot I want to talk about here. So outstanding listed securities, we're still just below 100 million. For this prospectus to close, and then we're going to know about how many shares were issued and how much was raised. With the duration of the prospectus, how long it's taking, it might not actually get filled. We'll see. They might end up just cutting it short at whatever they've gotten. So 10, 20 million shares, something like that. So hopefully next monthly report, if we don't get numbers, maybe that'll be updated. So we'll look for that then. So beginning of October was marked by National Day, also known as Golden Week, which is a week-long national holiday in China, when most of the country's businesses are closed. Furthermore, the government COVID restrictions, including the travel and daily testing, remained in effect in many cities during the month. They said this disrupted their operations, particularly in consumer goods supply chain, which is a bulk of their business. However, they took an aggressive expansion approach during the month into RA service sectors such as the oil, gas, and steel verticals, which is great to hear. There hasn't been much talk on that or information come from that, and it's been a pretty low percentage of their revenue thus far. Despite volatility in commodity prices in 2022, their platforms continue to experience high level of activity and benefit from the extra attention paid by them during the issue during the period, and continue to provide the issuer with a steady and somewhat predictable revenue stream. So hopefully this was substantial enough that they could offset anything that may be lost in the supply chain. It just kind of reminds me that they have quite a few levers they can pull over there. And for Golden and the tenant team in China, it's more about allocation of resources and capital to generate revenues there than is necessarily about how much slowdowns they're experiencing, right? So they've got okay margins with this, not as good as say the clean tech or the insurance vertical, but it'd be great to see some increased numbers here for Q4. And then they've got here, after months of planning and working with China's largest retailers and physical outlets through the country, they actually launched a pilot project in the city of Chengdu during the period. This was aimed at bringing distribution and delivery efficiency to online consumer good retailers and distributors. They signed up 145 retail outlets for the pilot project. They'll keep a special inventory of certain goods, allowing for the goods to be quickly delivered and distributed locally as they're ordered online from consumers across the country. Among other important features, participating online retailers will be able to access critical market data such as best-selling products and decentralize the shipping of their wares. If successful, the issuer will be looking to expand the project to major cities and provinces in China, starting with Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. So this is definitely one that really excited me when I read this. Just kind of a nugget that they put in there about something new that they're working on. We don't know. It's just a pilot project. May not generate revenues. We do know that the first time they did a pilot with the oil and gas, they generated like 6 million revenue last year around this time. So they were working on this pilot for a while. They said a few months they've been working on it. So it's not a small project, and it's kind of a new idea that we're seeing from them. The amount of outlets and the way they talk about it here, it definitely kind of sounds like a distribution supply chain kind of thing, but without infrastructure costs. So basically it sounds like through technology and partnerships, they're looking to improve supply chain and distribution for businesses. And maybe we're going to hear about a new platform coming soon. That might even be down here below. I'll touch on it, but there was talk about another platform that they purchased 100% stake in, so that possibly could be tied into this. So really excited about hearing more of this and seeing what's there, and it's definitely something cool that would be a tenant thing for sure. Coming out of these great tech out of nowhere, kind of like the clean tech was. So still on the subject of distribution, unrelated to the aforementioned pilot project, they took ownership control during the period of a subsidiary called Asia Synergy Transportation Hub, in which the issuer was previously a minority shareholder. Following its takeover at ASTH, they mandated ASTH to mandate Union Fleet shipping and transportation platform, And Yun Fleet was launched back in March 2022, a part of Tenet's business hub in China, provides shipping and transportation opportunities to China's freight trucking industry, resulting from transactions conducted in the business hub. As of the day of this progress report, there were over 2,000 registered truckers on the Yun Fleet platform. So that's a great number. We haven't seen a number yet for the amount of truckers, as far as I remember. So 2,000, that's significant enough. They can start generating some revenues. Basically this happened in the beginning of October. I think October 7th was the day of the press release. So we already knew about it. Nothing really new or exciting other than 2,000 truckers, and these are going to add to Q4 overall revenues and numbers, and hopefully, and it does tie into their Heartbeat insurance platform as well. So if these truckers start getting insurance products through them, that's high gross margin business. So hopefully this really takes off, and we're going to see some better margins, and it'll just help get them to that guidance that they're trying for at the end of the year. So as for Canadian operations, the issuer's pre-registration campaign to get Canadian SME owners and executives signed to become members of the business hub continue to show encouraging signs during the period. With anticipated 4,000 pre-registered SMEs on the platform by the time of the launch in November, they worked on building its advertising media kit during the month. The issuer now expects to have a sufficient number of members on the platform time of launches to warrant the production of the media kit, which will help generate the platform's first revenue in Canada once it launches. So, the main goal was to try and get this launched by this year and get revenues generated on it. So it's going to be pretty small, I imagine, to start. Maybe hopefully they break $1 million or something like that, but it's not going to be super accretive to your overall guidance. Here's this 4,000 pre-registered SMEs in print again that they're targeting. So we just gotta stay tuned and wait for the launch of this, and then hopefully we'll start to see their media kit pop up here and there as they really hit the go-to-market once the launch happens. So for the activities of management, it says here that in China, they're focused on strategic expansion and taking measures to counter the impact of COVID-19, which was the levering that, they're doing the steel platform and the oil and gas. And then they got the continuous attention being paid to the Canadian launch of the business hub. Their attention in Canada was primarily focused on capital markets related matters during the period. So they talked about this in the last Form 7 as well, just they're in communication with the Canadian Senior Exchange and the NASDAQ, of course, and the SEC to get relisted. So basically here they just responded to follow-up questions they received from the exchange as part of the application review process. It's one of those things where it's like once they're approved, it happens pretty fast. So we're just kind of waiting. Also, we probably have to wait for the prospectus to close. So all this is all coming ahead. So a lot of catalysts coming here pretty short and fast. As far as the comments around the NASDAQ, it says here the issuer's management external counsel spent time during the period preparing to file and submit new correspondence to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Then they stated that correspondence was filed with the SEC on the day of the filing of the progress report. So basically yesterday they sent that over. The SEC and U.S. Exchange has been reviewing the U.S. issuer's registration statement. They must give its approval to make the issuer's registration statement effective before the listing of their securities can be reinstated. So it's the same place that they've been for the last year. But hopefully with these new communications and the changes, we might see something happen here. I'm not going to hang my hat on this year, but another step forward is good. So rather than 2 steps back. And then, of course, they spent time during the period preparing for the filing of the financial results for the third quarter of 2022. Some outlets have this stated as about mid-November we might see this. They have till the end of the month, regardless of when it is. We're looking forward to see it. Hopefully, they're definitely above that 50 million mark. I'm hoping for 60 million just to kind of provide calm that out there for potential that they're not going to miss guidance. But as I said before, Johnson and Golden, they have a lot of levers they can pull in China, as well as allocating capital and resources. So you can be assured that they're going to do everything they can to try and hit these numbers. They're not going to say die until it's, pretty close to the date. I think they have a lot of belief in themselves and their team and what they can do. And I think right up until the end, they're going to believe that they can do it. So unless they're way off base. So this is going to be probably a big quarter. It's going to be a new kind of threshold for the company, right? Cracking that $50 million mark. So here's hoping they do that. That would be big for the quarter. So coming down here, during the period, they acquired the following legal entities in China. So this A is a synergy sure bid. So they paid a non-significant cash consideration amount to acquire 100% of the company. This is probably similar to the STH that they did, right? They set up these subsidiaries, and then they get all the everything set up, and then they purchase them to make them 100% of Tenet. This could be related to that pilot that they're doing, but it might be something totally different that we haven't heard about yet. So I couldn't find any information on it, but that's some speculation there. And then we've got the ASTH, which we know that. So basically, Union Food Platform's up and running. We'll be looking to see whatever that adds to their top and bottom line in Q4. Then also it has here that the issuer invested in minority shares in the following legal entities. I can't say that. Wuxi Jinsang Venture Capital Partnership. They invested 2.5 million RMB into the legal partnership. So, something like 400,000 or 500,000 Canadian or something like that. But basically this is, probably a partnership that they're setting up with this venture capital firm, whether it's, setting something up so they can invest in other businesses, do other acquisitions in China. It's definitely just one of those I invest in you, you invest in us kind of partnerships that they've done in the past. So we might hear more on that, or that might just be something that we don't hear anything about again. It's just the next time something comes out, it might be just a press release about something to do with the company again. So the issuer considered to hire several new employees in Canada during the reporting period in connection with its development, adaptation, and planned launch of the Keebler business up in North America. So still growing, still ramping up to service hopefully 4,000 of launch, and we'll see where they get to by the end of the year. They had targeted 100 employees by the end of the year, so hopefully we see them getting up businesses on the platform and to warrant the ramp up to that level anyways. Then they issued some stock options as well, $1.24 per share. As the company continues to grow, maybe we get some accretive share price movement in a positive direction next year. We might see a bunch of these warrants get exercised, which would be great. It'll add to the company's cash balances, but it's also going to up the shares outstanding every month. So we'll continue to watch that and see. Then they also got this little mention at the bottom here, which is also very exciting in the Forum 7. So the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, has announced a mandate for rooftop solar on commercial and public buildings by 2027 and for residential buildings by 2029. So 2027 is not that far away. It's only 5 years, which basically means companies need to start building up for it now, because they have to start planning processes in planning and ordering the materials. Like, this is a 2-year process. So basically, to get everything installed, things could start to happen pretty fast, and for companies that are involved in solar, like Enphase and the two companies that two conglomerates really, and engineering firms that Tenet is partnered with, this is probably a pretty big deal. So the EU target for renewable energy has been increased from 40% to 45%. This is probably also a reaction to the war in Ukraine and reducing dependency on Russian oil. The issuer's clean energy platform helps identify routes for solar panels and provides real-time energy usage data, among other features, and so can position the issuer to take advantage of this global opportunity. So there's another cool thing that just shows that, Golden's over in China. He's playing 4D chess. He's, him and John are seeing things, turn, and they're trying to get ahead of it, right? So just the fact that they were able to develop this clean tech platform last year and now make these partnerships with the CEEC and the SEPC definitely goes to show that, they're looking for trends, and they're trying to enter new markets and get ahead of these things. So I'll definitely be looking for a press release involving this, because you can probably bet that their two partners as well are probably going to be looking to get on these changes, on this mandate for the European Commission as well, right? So the CEEC and the CEPC, they're big companies. They're going to want a piece of the pie, and tenant's going to be reaching out to them to get a portion of this as well, and then they're going to be reaching out to find new partners in Europe to make this even more accretive for the company, I'm sure. So that's basically their whole Form 7. Appreciate you guys taking time to listen. As I said, pretty exciting. There's a lot of information to unpack in here, so I thought it warranted its own video. If you guys like this content, please like and subscribe, and I'll be looking to do the Q3s when they come out later this month, as well as any comments around the Kubler platform when we see it launch and stuff like that. So we're looking forward to both these things, and have yourselves a good day.